Hey everyone, Joel Castro back with another vlog, and this time I actually have a video game review for you. This game recently came out about a couple days ago. Been playing it, been testing it out, testing to see how much I can do before I have to give the actual review. So here it is. I'm reviewing The Last of Us. Put it over here so you can see it better. This is The Last of Us. I got this game pre-ordered. I played it. I played the shit out of it so far. Played the multiplayer too. Some of you might want to know my opinion on it. And let me give you my overall opinion of the game. Buy it. Buy it and own it if you have a PS3. Because this is one of those games. Oh my god. This game is Naughty Dog's absolute best so far. They are at the absolute top of their game here, guys. And I know a lot of you are thinking, why won't you say this game's overrated? Or I know a lot of you would want to hear that, but I'm tired of people complaining about when a game gets too many 10s or too many high scores. It's like, oh, they're being paid off by Sony to advertise this game. They're being paid off by Naughty Dog. Here's the thing. As a journalistic websites are supposed to be unbiased in their research and in their games. If they have advertising, that's because that's the only way those sites make money. Maybe not the only way, but it's one of the main ways they get money. So if they're advertising, okay, they have to advertise. But that does not mean that, it does not mean that they're going to overrate the game because they're getting so much advertising revenue due to that. It frustrates me to know what some people will go through. Anyways, let's talk about the game, actually, instead of me ranting over reviews. This game is great. Amazing atmosphere, fantastic graphics, great voice acting, and very, very good gameplay. Like, very intense type stuff. Alright, let's start with the story. The story follows this guy named Joel. He lived before this outbreak of the cordyceps fungus came out. That's the thing that's caused this outbreak of infected humans to flow around. Humanity's slowly dying. People have ran out of major cities and towns because the infected are too much for people to handle, and people have died or changed. And so the military has set up these quarantines in order to prevent the virus from getting any further. Something that this group called the Fireflies does not particularly care for, and they want to get rid of that kind of, harsh militaristic rule. But anyways, the story is really about this guy named Joel. He's a smuggler, he gets paid with whatever they get paid with, and they, what they resort to is this. Let me try this again. Joel is basically tasked with smuggling this little girl, this 14-year-old girl named Ellie, out of the city in order to meet up with the Fireflies for some unknown reason that gets revealed throughout the plot. And along the way, they fight through broken down cities, infected humans, hunters living on the outskirts, and just basically trying to survive. And they develop this kind of like father-daughter bond as they go through. They start off hating each other, but then they start growing to like each other and all that, Lots of themes in the story here. Survival, the death of civilization, what it means to be human, what it means to survive, trying to find hope in desperate times. Those kinds of themes are present everywhere in this game, but it doesn't hit you hard, and it doesn't hit you with exposition either. It's like they give you little tidbits of information here and there and say, yes, this is what this is how it works, deal with it. Not too many backstories, not a lot of exposition, and it works because it helps create this very unsettling but very real atmosphere, and it totally immerses you right down to the environments. You guys have never seen more beautiful art direction in your life. You have buildings like skyscrapers being completely starting to get swallowed by plant life. You have woods starting to come back. You have animals running around. You have just broken down buildings, cars left here and there, places starting to flood. This kind of desolate yet very, very dead atmosphere it will chill you. It will send shivers down your spine. And the same goes with the incredible voice acting that you'll find in this game. I don't think you've ever heard voice acting this good in any video game. Joel and Ellie have great voice actors. Troy Baker is once again at it. He played Booker DeWitt in Bioshock Infinite. He's voicing Joel in The Last of Us. Joel is kind of like this down on his luck guy trying to survive. He's been through a lot. He suffered some heavy losses when the outbreak happened. He's basically one of those hard asses, has a heart of gold. Not really a heart of gold. He's just a hard ass. But he grows a soft side when he meets Ellie, this girl who has never lived outside the life of quarantine, and who has never seen what the world was like before the outbreak happened. And so she learns a few of it from Joel, and she learns that survival isn't just about that. Living isn't just about surviving. Living is all these kinds of things, philosophical things I'm not really going to get into right now. So, and you meet a bunch of other characters along the way, ranging from people who Joel has known, people they meet in certain towns. They try to work together, or they try to fight each other off. And these characters are so unforgettable and so awesome. You will instantly love whoever. You're gonna have a favorite. I know you will if you play this game. They're all excellently voiced, all excellently motion captured. The animations in this game are beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. But again, it's never completely about the game. The graphics. It's never completely about the story. You have gameplay to work with, and my God, this gameplay is awesome. You basically walk around these areas at a slow pace. It's kind of like, think of like L.A. Noire, that kind of pacing, but a little less meticulous and a little more just take some time, explore this place, these places that you go through. There are so many ways to go around one area. Do you head into this closet to collect some supplies, or do you ignore it and just push yourself through this broken down hotel? There's so many options, and you have like these little environmental puzzles where you have to like push dumpsters in order to get to high ledges, ladders in order to get to even higher ledges, making Ellie go through these tight little spaces in order that she normally couldn't reach in order to unbar some doors on the other side. Those kinds of environmental puzzles, they seem realistic. And so does the combat in this game. Now, combat kind of works like third-person shooter mechanics, but here's the thing. In a third-person shooter, you have what's known as the cover system. This game does not have a traditional cover system. If you want to take cover, just crouch behind something. You can move away from it. You're not stuck hugging the wall and poking your head out every time and having to force yourself to run off and hit a button. You can just move. But to shoot, you do have to aim and you do have to shoot. There's no hip firing because this game wants you to conserve bullets and figure out different ways to get around each encounter. Oh, sorry, I'm talking to people. Just talking to some people. Don't mind me. I'll get back to the review in a little bit. Okay. Okay, and back to the gameplay. And you have to use, and you can use different items like bombs and Molotov cocktails that you can craft yourself, and that kind of crafting works in real time. You collect loot like rags, knives, to create shivs, explosive powders to make nail bombs or smoke bombs. You can make med packs for yourself because this game does not run on regenerative health. You actually have to use med packs in order to heal yourself, harkening back to those old school shooter days, and it's awesome, and I love it, and it works in real time too, so you really have to find a place to hide in order to craft in real time if you're doing it in combat. I would honestly suggest preparing beforehand and then running into a situation prepared, because the AI, the human AI, enemy AI in this game, friendly and enemy, are some of the smartest I have ever seen. I'm not kidding you. They make plans. They will try to ambush you. If one guy grabs you, the other guy will try to shoot at you, or shiv you for that matter. These guys are so fucking smart. I've never seen AI this intelligent. And oh my god, I've had so many rough times. Like, I will go sneak up behind one enemy, but not knowing that the others have seen me, and they'll try to run up and smash me with a tire iron, and I'm like, oh shit! And when you pull out a gun, they actually hesitate and run. Like, they don't just desperately try to shoot at you. They will literally run away from you if you pull out a gun and take cover. That is so cool! And if you grab one of their buddies hostage, which you can do, they will actually stop firing because they're afraid they might hit their buddy. And they're like, oh shit, oh shit. Can you please let him go so I can shoot you? Please? That kind of thing is so cool. And you can shoot, and then you can shoot them and shoot the guy in the head. I don't know. But the thing about those encounters is that, you know, the enemies feel so human that you almost feel bad for killing them. Like when they die, when you're strangling them, they kind of like flail around and try to get you off them. It feels so unsatisfying and satisfying at the same time. It just makes you uncomfortable, and I like that. But humans are not the only threat in this game. Like I said, some humans have become infected, and they have become these zombie-like creatures. There are 3 types, but I'll only get into the 2 main ones. The first one is the runners, which, you know, as their name suggests, they will charge at you if they take notice of you. Other times, they'll just sit there kind of like suffering, you know, twitching, and as the virus or fungus kind of takes over, and it looks unsettling. But once they run over to you, you have to either kill them or run, because you're like, shit. Shoot them, melee them, it doesn't matter. And the second type of infected are the clickers, and these things are fucking terrifying. Here's the thing. These are humans that have been infected so badly that their entire face is covered in fungus. They can't see anymore, but they use this, like, awful clicking sound that is a form of echolocation, like what bats use to find their way in the dark. And these guys are very sensitive to sound. Like, if you throw a bottle somewhere, they will run to where that sound was. And if you run, they will run towards you because that's where the sound is coming from. And if they grab you, you're dead. Game over. The only way to kill them is to pump a lot of bullets into them, which you can't really do because the bullets are scarce and you really have to conserve your ammo. Or you can also sneak up behind them and shiv them. And again, it creates so much strategy because of the non-linear area design, level design. Non-linear level design, but linear progression through the story. That is a great combination to have in this kind of game, personally. And, you know, the gameplay just works. And, let's see, what else? You can find collectibles, like little notes that survivors leave behind that give insight into what happened during the outbreak. You can find, you know, comic books, Firefly emblems, just all these random things that really serve to further the story, kind of like the audio logs in Bioshock, the Bioshock series. And also, you have this amazingly immersive soundtrack. It's done by Academy Award winner Gustavo Santaolalla. Or Santaolalla. I can never pronounce this dude's name. But he did the scores for Brokeback Mountain and Babel, 2 great movies. And it's just so atmospheric. It has these like really light guitar melodies, which I love, and also really light but powerful orchestrations during the more intense moments, like with percussions and woodwinds and very few brass and string sections. And it just serves to create this amazingly unnerving yet beautiful atmosphere that progresses this story so well. And by the time you get to the ending, you will be exhausted. I'm not kidding. This game fucks you up in so many ways emotionally. And that makes it all the better. But the single player is not the only thing. They have added multiplayer into The Last of Us. And it is actually cool. The same gameplay that happens in the single player, they put it into the multiplayer, and it works. You can craft in real time. You can take cover. They have non-linear game design. They have this great level design for the multiplayer maps, where you can like pick ambush spots or find or go through anywhere you want in whatever manner you wish, and it's so cool. You don't need to find a place and camp. It's just so awesome, and there are 2 modes. You have Supply Raid, which you can basically grab supplies and craft stuff and try to whittle down the enemy's respawn count, the other team's respawn count, which kind of works like a traditional team deathmatch type of thing, but not to get a high kill count, but to diminish their respawn count, kind of like killing their remaining survivors. And there's also a survivor mode, which actually has no respawn. So basically, if you're dead, you're fucking dead, and the match is over once all your team is dead. And that one creates so much strategy, and it is so much fun. I've never thought I had this much fun with a multiplayer, but I'm having a blast with this. Oh. But, not every game is perfect. I will say that till the end of time. And this game does have a few issues. One, in order to prevent this game from being an escort mission, the enemies will sometimes never notice your friendly AI partners, which can break that illusion of immersion that this game so expertly creates. But then again, everyone hates escort missions, so this is forgivable. And also, there is a lot of trial and error. When you die, you find this checkpoint, and you have this checkpoint for the beginning of the encounter, and you basically have to replan your strategy. Works kind of like a stealth game, but again, it adds the challenge. This game cannot have permadeath. You guys are stupid if you think this game needs permadeath. And I've heard some reviewers claim that the checkpoints are used too often. I'm like, no, I rarely see a checkpoint. And if I do, it's usually before an encounter or before a major story event. But that's it. And those are the only two things I can really think of. There's a few glitches here and there, like the AIs will sometimes spaz out every now and then. But it doesn't really break the immersion. It's just something that's, a technical issues that most day one games usually have. So there you go. That's my review of The Last of Us. I never thought this would happen, but the first game that I gave a 10 to this year was BioShock Infinite. And even though that game does have a few problems, like the guns not having enough weight to them, it's the story, the overall gameplay, and the fucking ending and graphics and characters in that game are so great. That game deserved a 10 from me, personally. The Last of Us is the second game so far this year that gets a full 10 out of 10. This game is not perfect. I have explained to you the flaws with this game that are there and are noticeable. But I cannot deny how much of an experience this game is. It's a journey. You feel what the characters feel. You get nervous when the combat's about to happen. You are unsettled. You will probably cry. I was on the verge of tears a few times throughout this game. And if you're a little more emotional than I am, you will probably cry. Probably just that one little tear, like. But this is one of those great games. I think it's Naughty Dog's best game. And it's one of the best PS3 exclusives. Which one's the best? That's entirely up to you. I personally love this game. I would highly recommend every PS3 owner to buy this game. But be warned, this game does get graphic, it does get brutal, and it does carry over some very mature themes. And it's handled very well, written with excellent writing. So you don't need to worry about immaturity. You just need to know that this is a must-play and a must-own. And that's all the time I have for you today, guys. Until next time, until my next review, this is Master Metal 777, a.k.a. Joel Castro. Have a good day, guys. Later.